Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name is Imogen and in today's video I am sharing a bunch of songs that I associate with January, or the most depressing songs I can think of for a depressing ass month. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, I promise not all the songs are depressing. And let's get straight into the video. Alright, so the first thing I want to say is that I have a yearly tradition, okay? And every New Year's, this is probably my favourite song on the list, okay? Every New Year's, I listen to the song New Year by LAYLA. And this is one of the previous stage names of Josephine van der West, who's one half of Oh Wonder, and which is my favourite band. If you did not know, I have them tattooed on my arm. But anyway, LAYLA was one of her previous solo act stage names, and as LAYLA, she wrote and released New Year, and Anthony, who's now her husband and also the other half of Oh Wonder, was actually involved in that project. And it is a song about, like, New Year and goals and, like, feeling that uncertainty of every new year, and I just love the song. It's wonderful. I listen to it every New Year, and it is a tradition. Sometimes I listen to it at other times of year when I feel like I need a fresh start, but that is 100% the first song on my list. Okay. The second one I want to talk about is On the Nature of Daylight by Max Richter. This song, or rather piece, because it's not actually a song, it's just a piece of classical music. It was included in the movie Arrival, which is one of my favourite movies of all time. And it is, like, very reflective, very melancholy. And I just listen to it when I want to, like... I don't know, it makes me feel emotions that are very difficult to describe, but it is a really amazing piece of music. It's very evocative. So I highly recommend that you listen to that. Okay, number 3, Listen Before I Go by Billie Eilish. One of the saddest songs I think she's ever written, but also very, very poignant. I highly recommend it because it makes me think about a lot of things in my life. The Future by Leonard Cohen. I have many times thought about getting lyrics from this song tattooed on me because it is just a poetic song. As It Was by Hozier, because Hozier is honestly also a poet, like Leonard Cohen, like they're both amazing poets, and especially the instrumental in As It Was is just astonishing. Like, I mean, I know Hozier's talented, but like, come on. That is an amazing song. Alright, Abstract by Hozier. This is a newer one, but I thought I'd mention like both Hozier songs at once. It's sort of about like, well, it's about several things, but mostly about like reflecting on life. And I think this is kind of a common theme for this video, especially because January is quite a reflective month. It's winter and everybody's like trying to think about their new goals for the year and really like what's the meaning of life and so forth, and so that's a really good song for that. Another song that I often listen to in January is Serotonin by Girl in Red. And that's very sort of like, again, I know I'm using the word poignant a lot, but it is very poignant, and it's about sort of like feeling like you're running on empty, and like your battery's like running down, and I think it's very relatable for a lot of people at this time of year because it's a very stressful month, January, because you're trying to be productive and it's winter and nobody wants to be productive in winter, especially not after Christmas. That's just depressing, right? Okay, some Sufjan Stevens for the list. Visions of Gideon and 4th of July are my two top picks. Obviously, two of his most famous songs. Visions of Gideon was, of course, included in the hit movie Call Me By Your Name, which is one of my favourite movies and something I watch semi-regularly, if only to cry over. But then 4th of July, obviously, is about reflecting on the relationships in your life, and specifically, like, it's about a mother-son relationship, but it's sort of about, like, reflecting on, you know, what might have been and, so, like, the past, etc., which I think is a lot of the time what we're doing in January. Okay, I mentioned Oh Wonder earlier, and I do have a couple of other picks because, obviously, I'm going to mention my favourite band in a video about my favourite music. So My Friends is a wonderful song from Oh Wonder's second album, Ultralife, and I think it's one of probably the saddest song on that album. It's about like being a long way away from your friends and like missing them, but also remembering the really good times that you had when you were together. So it's kind of heartwarming from that perspective, but it's a really long song, so it's not exactly, I guess it's kind of an anthem. I haven't listened to it for a long time because it's very emotionally intense, but I do listen to it sometimes and often in January. Okay, Love Me Now is the other Oh Wonder song I wanted to recommend, and that's from their album 22 break, which they released in October 2022, I want to say. Yes, they did. But it has one of the, like, it has some of the most, like, I don't know, I don't want to say metal or hardcore, because nothing about Oh Wonder is, like, metal or hardcore, but, like, the most sort of, yeah, I guess metal or hardcore lyrics in any Oh Wonder song, which I felt like was really suited to the vibe of the month. Okay, Simon and Garfunkel, Kathy's Song. Kathy's Song is, it was written for Paul Simon's ex-girlfriend, and it is honestly one of the most romantic songs I have ever heard. It's on my playlist for, like, my favourite love songs, but it's just beautiful. It involves, like, talking about rainy weather and, like, a feeling of loss and so forth, so, wonderful, wonderful song. Okay, I have two more songs. Motion Sickness by Phoebe Bridgers. If you haven't heard this viral phenomenon, you gotta hear it. I'm, like, half kidding, but also it's a good song. And Each Time You Fall in Love by Cigarettes After Sex. So, Cigarettes After Sex is actually a really interesting band, because I was kind of, like, obsessed with their, like, self-titled album, and I'm, like, interested in a lot of their other work, but, like, that is one of my favourite songs from the album, because it's all about sort of, like, how relationships can be really complicated at times, and it's kind of a fever dream of a song, to be honest. In fact, that whole album, there are no skips. Like, I can listen from start to finish, and it sort of puts me into, like, a sort of a dream state. Anyway, I'm gonna briefly recap the songs I mentioned in this video. Listen Before I Go by Billie Eilish, The Future by Leonard Cohen, As It Was by Hozier, Abstract by Hozier, Serotonin by Girl in Red, Visions of Gideon by Sufjan Stevens, 4th of July by Sufjan Stevens, My Friends by Oh Wonder, Love Me Now by Oh Wonder, Kathy's Song by Simon and Garfunkel, Motion Sickness by Phoebe Bridgers, Each Time You Fall in Love by Cigarettes After Sex, and On the Nature of Daylight by Max Richter. Okay, these are my top picks for January. If you would like a, like, playlist video for every month of the year, please comment below, because that is actually something I would love to do. Like, I made this video as a one-off, but I actually think maybe I want to make it a monthly recurring thing, so please let me know in the comments if that is something you would be interested in, because I love talking about music and I don't do it often enough, even though I do it non-stop. Okay? That is all for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye!